Welcome back to another edition of Danger and Danielle's Tactical Breakdown. We're going to take a look back to the San Jose Earthquakes' defeat to the LA Galaxy 1-0 this past week. And not a lot of opportunities on the offensive side scored by either sides of the ball. Danger, what's your overall assessment of both the attack and the defense in that game?
Well, it was a Classico, but it wasn't a Classic, was it? Let's face it. I mean, it was really two teams trying to grind out a result. Two teams that, had players missing in the case of the Galaxy, looking to just get through the game and try and sneak a win or settle for a point. It had that feeling about it. Yeah. And as you say, there was very little going for either team on the offensive side. I mean, sometimes the stats just don't lie. And if you look at the stats in this particular game, you'll see a game that possession-wise was pretty even. If you look at the challenges, the fouls, but most alarmingly, one shot on goal by both teams. And it's those shots on goals and the save or not save that really was the transformation of the game, and that comes to the goals.
Yeah, well, we're going to take a look and break down the goal that was scored by the LA Galaxy, and we'll also take a look at some of the opportunities that the Earthquakes had. So let's take a look at the goal that Alessandrini scored for the LA Galaxy. What did you like about that?
It's a great touch by Alessandrini. That's what creates the space for him, the ability to take it away from the pressure that was there by Howard Cummins. It's a difficult one for Howard. Does he follow that touch away from goal, or is he thinking, okay, he's maybe going to be 30 yards out? But all the credit in the world goes to Alessandrini. Good work by Boateng. He was a little bit out of control, and I think Anabol's thinking, I'm just trying to get out of the way of him, because he really wasn't going anywhere at that point, Boateng, but it fell nicely for Alessandrini and the Galaxy, and it's a really good strike.
I agree. I mean, I thought it was a pretty fantastic finish by Alessandrini. Certainly have to give him some credit. If I'm trying to be a little ticky-tacky, could Harold Cummings have got a little bit pressure on the ball? It's tough. I mean, it's outside of the D. It's a good 25 yards away. So I can say in my head as a defender, I'm thinking that that's far enough away that I probably don't have to get immediate pressure on the ball, but could he have made a little bit of a difference to get a touch or an impact or a block shot? Tough, but perhaps. Also, could Andrew Tarbell have gotten there? We know he has a wide wingspan, and he was close, not quite close enough. Again, it was perfectly placed. So I'm being a little critical here, but always looking for a way to find out what that small difference is to prevent those goals. So there wasn't a lot of attack involved in this game, but the Earthquakes did have a couple of opportunities. First of all, your thoughts on the non-called handball in the box shot by Vacco?
It's a handball. I think Wando does tremendously well on the byline, and he gets the ball over. Vacco's in a good position. And you can see, I think it was Boateng, has moved away a little bit from the ball, and his hand is out. And it's a good strike by Vacco, and it's on target. The most amazing thing for me in the whole game in that respect, though, is that the referee didn't even go to VAR on this. And I think if he had gone to VAR and they'd have looked at it, they would have had to give the penalty kick. I don't think the hand was in a natural position. It was out far enough to enable the defender to get a hand onto it and block it from going on target. Yeah. And yes, it was pretty close. There's not a lot he could do to get out of the way. But I think that if that had been either way, that you would expect that to be called.
For me, video review is becoming less clear and obvious.
Yeah, it is. They keep using that excuse of clear and obvious. But, it's there to be used, and that's an example I think that needed to be used to get a clear decision to be made, because that one needed to be reviewed.
Yeah, I thought that was a missed opportunity. Now, fast forward to the very end of the game, second half, Danny Hoesen's shot on target, the one shot on target that the Earthquakes did have. What are your thoughts? I thought it was a great strike and a good opportunity.
Yeah, I think he'd have got the assist on this one as well. He hit it off the wall. Bad free kick, obviously. Danny would say that. But then it came back to here, and the technique is perfect. Yeah. Once again, we talked about this last year when he first came to the club. His technique in striking a ball is with both feet is so good. And that was a great example of it. And he's hit a really good shot. And, the game came down to those two moments. Two really good strikes on goal, one fabulous save by David Bingham, one close, nearly got there by Andrew Tarbell, and that's the difference in the game. But a shout out also to that guy Alessandrini, because when the ball comes back off the crossbar, it's the same guy who scored the goal at the other end that's making a wonderful flying sort of clearance in front of Quincy going to knocking the rebound. And that's what you want from the player you pay good money to. The ability to create goals and also put the defensive work in. Especially
at critical moments in the game, and that moment was critical late in the match. So another upcoming game on the road, this time at the Chicago Fire. Danger, which players from the Fire stand out for you that the Earthquakes need to be most cognizant of?
Well, obviously the name is Schweinsteiger, and obviously he's a leader. They're playing in more of a defensive role nowadays for the Fire. But the players that stand out, they've got a guy who's their designated player, came over, Katai. Looks like a very busy player, great strike of a ball, scored a wonderful free kick last weekend against Orlando. They've got a Nikolic playing up front, who is a sort of a young version of Wando in some respects, right? He scores goals and he's a poacher. And then you've got the guy who comes off the bench, and we know him well, Alan Gordon. And if you haven't checked out the Instagram, you should do it.
Or not, I don't know. It's your call. But certainly a big game upcoming this weekend. Defensively, the Quakes are going to have to be sound given the attackers that you mentioned. I think Jimmy Ockford has had a string of games, so I'll be looking for him to continue to have a good game. But good luck, you guys, in Chicago, and thanks for watching Danger and Danielle's Tactical Breakdown.